welcome. Hi, how are you guys? I'm happy to see you here. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Today, we are doing more descriptive... shit. Ah, this is going to be a good stream. We're doing more descriptive manga reading. Here, you know what? I'm going to quickly get changed. Don't look. Don't look. Okay? Don't look. Close your eyes. I'm going to get changed. Don't look. Close your eyes. Did you close them? Alright, sorry, I'm just being a goof. Alright. Hello. Hi, I'm happy to see you guys here. Hello and welcome, Nikkei, Summer, Sappy, Laghost, Random Passerby. Welcome, I'm happy to see you all here. How's it going? How can you read when you can't even talk? I know, right? Really curious about the stream format. So, the way that this one works is it's very much just like a chill, you know, hangout stream. I fully expect that most of you will probably, if not all of you, will probably just lurk. Basically, what I do is I take manga and I go ahead and I read it out loud. And I go and describe everything as if I was like speaking to someone who couldn't see. So I will be explaining what's happening in each scene. I'll be explaining the scenery in detail, things like that. Yeah, so this one, last time we did She and Her Cat, which I personally really enjoy. This time we're doing The God's Lie, which I also enjoy. This one is a little bit longer than She and Her Cat, but I think that it'll still fit within like the 2-ish, no longer than 3-hour typical stream slot that I usually do. So... Ayo, it's the dungeon. Yeah, we're in the dungeon. Sappy made this, and it's so good, and I love it. And I'm gonna show it off a whole bunch when we do the debut because it's so good, and I love it. We are currently in my cave with my toilet stash and my Hifumi body pillow and everything else. Doing all right, although getting kind of frustrated. Deadline for my thesis is the 30th, and my teacher still hasn't gotten back to me. Stinky, go kick him in the balls. And if it's a woman, kick her in the balls. Every woman has a secret set of balls on her. I'd know. So, hello, Leo Jason. Happy to see you. Welcome. How's it going? So, I'll be doing a descriptive manga reading of The God's Lie. Do you guys want me to read the back so you get a little synopsis of like a little look into what it's gonna be about, or do you want me to just start? Because I can go either way. Also, last time I spent like 3 hours just to get like a few like sound effects and things like that. I'm not gonna do that today. That was a lot of work for what essentially didn't really matter in the end. So I'm just gonna have some nice music in the background. I hope that that's okay. We're gonna do that instead. Read the back? Okay, sounds good. Writing something related to a Wattpad story, including Shrek. Oh, hell yeah. I fucking love Shrek. My love, my life. Okay, so I'll read the back. Natsuru Nanao, a 6th grader who lives alone with his mother, strikes up an unlikely friendship with the reserved and driven Ryo Suzumura. Natsuru plays hooky from soccer camp that summer, and instead of telling the truth to his mother, he spends all his time with Ryo and her kid brother at their rickety house, where a dark secret threatens to upend their fragile happiness. It is very good. This is only 1 volume long. I highly recommend picking it up if this stream interests you. The art is very cute, and the story is very nice. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Hello, Niara, welcome! So, I'll read the first chapter, and I might pause in between, but if not, then at each chapter, I'll do a little pause and check in on you guys and see how you're all doing. So yeah, I'll be lurking since I'll probably be super busy tonight trying to get a hold of my teach. No worries, no worries. This is one of those streams where it's perfect for lurking, so I totally understand. So, there are 5 chapters for this one. Each, let's see. Oh goodness. It's a pretty long one. It's got a lot more dialogue and a lot more like scene changes and characters than She and Her Cat did. So this one might take a little bit longer. I'm gonna take a sip and then we'll get right into it. After I mix my coffee. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Okay, never mind. It's really hot. Okay, no sip for me. I'll drink it later. And hello, Kenshin Kakuro. Welcome. I'm happy to see you. How's it going? You're just in time. I was about to start the manga reading, so I hope that you enjoy. It was the summer when I was 11. A young boy with black hair is asleep. All of the desks are empty next to him, and he's in a classroom with his head on his desk. He slowly opens his eyes and looks up to see somebody standing behind the curtain. As the wind catches the curtain and it flows up over their face, it reveals to be a tall girl. Her hair is cut pretty short. It looks almost a little bit scraggly, if I had to describe it. She has short, I'm gonna assume it's blonde hair. That's what it looks like. She looks at him, and for a moment they stop and stare at each other. The curtains. Huh? They had the curtains washed before summer vacation. He grabbed one of the curtains and sniffs it a little bit. And as he does, he looks up at her and notices that she's already halfway out the door, and she's left. Natsuru, I'm done. Let's go to practice. A short but chubby boy calls out to him through the window. He has extremely short hair and a goofy smile on his face. Sure. It had been a while. Suzumura, huh? Since a girl talked to me. That backpack looks weird on her. The black-haired boy is now walking with the same boy from earlier, as well as a... Sorry, 1 moment. I'm gonna turn the volume down on my end. As well as another boy about the same height as them. His hair is cut really badly. I'm just gonna say that. His bangs are very, very short, and his hair kind of looks like a bowl cut if it didn't go all the way around. That backpack looks weird on her, they say as they look at her. She's standing between two other young girls, but she is clearly the tallest of all of them. At this rate, by the end of summer break, she's gonna be taller than the teachers. Yeah, but where are her boobs? Says the other boy. Idiot! Says our black-haired protagonist, blushing frantically while he tries to close his friend's mouth out of embarrassment. Don't say stuff like that. Girls at school don't talk to me. I transferred to the school at the beginning of the year. How? It cuts to a scene with him standing at the front of the class. My name is Natsuru Nanao. I'm from Tokyo. I like playing soccer, and he trails off, getting a little more embarrassed by all of the attention. It cuts to the classroom, where there are a few girls that are whispering and chatting. One particularly elegant girl with long, curly, beautiful hair gives a light blush and a smile. It looks a bit sinister, though. And then, February 14th. Hey, Nanao. My dad sent these from France. The girl with the long hair was holding a bag of chocolates in her hand, with two of her friends at her side. They're chocolates you can't buy in Japan. What? The entire classroom, all of the boys are staring in shock and horror as this beautiful young girl gives her chocolate away to him. Some of the boys think, the princess, and they're murmuring around. Himegawa's giving him chocolates? I don't really know anything about that stuff, so... I don't want any, he exclaims while he runs away out of the classroom. The girl's standing there, shocked. Yo, come on, let's go to practice, he says, grabbing a friend while he runs out of the door. She stands there, horrified and embarrassed. Rejected? The princess was turned down, her friends think beside her. And ever since... As it cuts to the future, he looks at the three girls as they're walking, and they all go, humph, and ignore him. They close their eyes, turn their noses, and want nothing to do with him. He looks a bit annoyed and a bit embarrassed at the whole ordeal. But whatever. I can get by just fine without talking to girls. 'Cause I've got soccer, he says, while grabbing his friend's shoulder. Right? Boys, let me introduce you to your new coach. This is what appears to be a faculty teacher or a mother of one of the boys. Next to her stands a tall man. His hair almost looks like a chicken. How do I say this? It has 3 parts for the bangs, and it really does just look like a chicken. He's wearing a soccer uniform and has a whistle around his neck and a soccer ball under his arm. Maruo Sakai! He gives a thumbs up. Okay, kids, get pumped for a great summer of soccer. The young boys all stand staring at him in shocked confusion, all of them in uniform at the sudden change in soccer coaches. Why is there a new coach all of a sudden? Our protagonist asks. What happened to Coach Okada? Asks another boy. Mr. Okada was just volunteering because he's with the neighborhood association, but Coach Sakai has a JFA license, says the woman happily. Lucky for you. It cuts to the boys playing soccer, as our black-haired protagonist kicks the soccer goal. Nice shot, Natsuru, says one of his friends. No, that's not gonna work. The coach comes up behind him and starts berating him. Sorry, berating, not braiding. That'd be a bit awkward. When you're surrounded by defense like that, the smart thing to do is to pass. You gotta look around you. Number 10 was right there. Throw it to the right. Don't just dribble through like a fool. Get it to the other side. Faster, move faster. Throughout the entire day, with every single game they play and every single exercise they do, the coach constantly barrages them with multiple different, I wouldn't say rude, but maybe harsh instructions. The boys are completely exhausted, huffing and wheezing. I think I see what level you guys are at, he says, with his eyes closed and his hand on his chin, thinking to himself. If you really want to get better, you gotta practice on your own time, too. Not just juggling, but practicing passes with your dad on days off, that kind of thing. Makes for great quality time with your dad, too, yep. I don't have a dad, so I can't, he said. Said our black-haired protagonist. What, your mom's single? Poor kid. Our protagonist is taken aback by that. In stunned silence, he stares at him. The hell is that coach's problem? He pisses me off, he says, while walking home with his 2 best friends. He runs pretty hot, huh? I like Mr. Okada better. It cuts to a scene of the past with an old man. He looks a bit like Einstein. His hair is pushed back, he has a big bushy mustache, and a cute pair of glasses. He looks like a very friendly old man. Now, this is a volley kick, he says while kicking, very obviously not knowing what he's doing. Even if he wasn't any good at soccer, the man missed his kick and rubbed his head embarrassed. By the way, my mom told me Mr. Okada is at Aizawa Hospital, says one of the friends to the black-haired kid. He's got cancer. His friends then leave him, saying a brief goodbye, while he stands alone in the middle of a bridge, staring into the distance. Meow! 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 Looking below the bridge, he sees a small cat tattered inside of a box. Meow! Whoa! Taking the cat home to his apartment complex, he opens he has the door of a closet open and puts his finger to his lips. Listen, you gotta shush up, he says to the kitten. now gently tucked away in his closet. I'll go convince Ritsuko to let me keep you, he says. Meow! And don't and don't poop in there. He leaves the room and enters a different room. A woman with short-cut hair, probably about a dark brown color, lays with her head on the desk, crying. She has glasses and, let me see here. And kind of side-swept bangs. They're very long, though.
If you had one day left, what would you do?
Hey there, Knots. I couldn't write a single page today, again, she says, tears streaming down her face in frustration as her head is tilted to the side. There's a thermometer and what appears to be some eye drops next to her. There's paper and pens, there's a light, and there's also a laptop, which is what she presumably has been working on. Sorry, mind if we get delivery for dinner? Sure. Writer's block still? Yeah. It cuts to an image of a light novel with a cute little anime character on it. Emo Puri is what it looks like it says. Please either slurp your ramen or sniffle, not both, he says. The editor wants me to finish 2 volumes this month because of that stupid Obon holiday, she says, crying and sniffing while eating her ramen. Hey, Reets? Oh, hey, Reets. We got a new soccer coach today. They said Mr. Okada is in the hospital with cancer. What? People die from cancer, don't they? Is Mr. Okada gonna die? He will not. Don't say stuff like that. But Dad died. Okay, sometimes people die. Your dad just had bad luck. She finished slurping the rest of her She finished slurping the rest of her ramen, slams the bowl down, and says, all done. As she begins washing the dishes, he sneaks up behind her. Oh no, I didn't remember this. God damn it, Japan. Why do you have to be like this? Alright. The boy... I don't even want to read this out loud. I forgot this was in here. The boy standing behind her has his hands on her boobs. I don't know why Japan is like this. Could you stop kneading my boobs? But it's so relaxing. It's gonna be okay, Knots. We'll go visit Mr. Okada sometime. Yeah. Oh, so I wanted to ask you if I could... Achoo! Achoo! What is... Achoo! It won't stop! Achoo! Achoo! Natsuru, you pet a cat, didn't you? I didn't. Don't lie to me. I told you I'm allergic. If you come home with so much as one cat hair, I can't breathe, she says. Her eyes filled with tears, her nose filled with snot, and her face bright red. Go outside and brush yourself off. Now I gotta clean. Don't come back till I'm done. He runs outside, pulls up his shirt, and reveals that the cat is actually underneath his hoodie. What do I do? He looks over and happens to see the tall girl from earlier. And what did I come back to? I know, right? Also, well, hi Noah, welcome. I'm happy to see you. How are you? And hello, Chandler. I'm happy to see you as well. How's it going? Suzumura? Suzumura, the tall, blonde girl with short hair standing there. There's a young boy that's next to her as well, a little bit shorter than her, and he has similar hair. What are you doing here at this hour? The young boy peeks from behind her. What about you, Nanao? My place is right here. Oh, hey, could you take this cat home? Are you allergic or anything? He asks, holding up the cat gently in his hands. Wow, kitty! The young boy runs up and grabs the cat. Yuta! The boy looks at her, sad and a little bit scared. while the black-haired boy stares at her in shock. We can take care of it, she says. If you pay for room and board, 1,000 yen a month. Huh? That's my whole allowance. He looks down at the cat. Meow, meow. It's mewing at him, sad and afraid. Okay, I'll bring the cash to school tomorrow. Can you ask your parents if it's okay? She's silent for a moment, and then says, I have to get some groceries first. Come with us, and bring the cat. By the way, for those who don't know, 1,000 yen equals about $10 US a month. I don't know if that helps for some people. I'm not sure about other countries' currencies, but it's about $10 a month.
Hello, Mr. Postbox. Hello, Mrs. Telephone. Hello, Mr. Tree.
The young boy is full of energy as he begins greeting everything that he sees, bowing politely, throwing his arms out.
Sis, wait! I have to say hi to all the things today!
His hand in the air as he begins waving to a window and a wall. Your brother? Don't worry about him. He's incapable of walking in a straight line, she says, embarrassed, as they walk over to the convenience store.
Hello, Mrs. Wall!
He yells in the background. They enter the convenience store and grab a basket full of different items. The young brother picks up some sparklers that he wants to add in. No, Yuta, don't pick up things we don't need. See, 198 yen, 248 yen. She's so serious, he thinks while looking at her. In her hand is a notebook filled with different items that are in the basket, and the prices of the yen next to them. She begins looking over them and thinking hard. You got a ton of stuff. They had a special sale today, she said. Want me to carry a bag? I'm fine, she says. Hands both completely full of multiple different bags. I've got it. He grabbed the bag out of her hand and threw it over his shoulder. Is your house this way? Yeah, she says. They begin walking to the house. It's a very tall, very old, traditional house. It looks rickety. A lot of the siding has been falling off. There are holes in it. In the roof, there's a bunch of cracks, and there's some replaced metal sheets, different things like that. It looks extremely run down. Hello? They entered into the front. There are shoes strewn about. There's a canister that looks like it to be a gas canister up in the front, and some umbrellas. It's totally dark. Are your parents home? No, not right now, she says. Thanks for having me. He pauses and looks up the stairs that are next to the entrance. She walks over and clicks on a light, revealing the rest of the main room. There's a table with some empty ramen cups. There's a can, a bag of presumably some type of snack. There's an empty bottle. There are sticky notes all over the place. There's a cabinet that's filled with, different items in it. It still looks a little bit run down from the inside and a little bit messy. She makes her way over to the kitchen and starts putting in some of the ingredients that she purchased, while her younger brother Yuta sits on the floor in the living room and starts playing with a car. The black-haired protagonist stares, a little bit stunned and surprised. Suddenly, a rain begins to fall, and it starts pattering on top of the roof. It's raining, says Yuta. Yuta! She runs over and tries to grab the laundry quickly before it gets wet from the rain. The protagonist still stands there stunned, staring at the both of them as they frantically try to bring in their clothes. He reaches over and grabs some of the clothing. He grabs a pair of underwear and gets embarrassed. He screams, "Whoa!" before dropping it. Out of embarrassment, his face bright red. What's wrong? Nothing, he says. One arm still holding the cat while the other one is out open in the air. He moves his head and looks outside. There's a jar with flowers. There's a jar with flowers out in the middle of the yard. Other things that adorn the yard are concrete blocks, some vases. There's some more foliage off to the side. Above his head, there appears to be the drying rack for all of the clothes that they just picked up.
Don't go that way, says Yuta behind him. There's a ghost. Huh? Hey, what's the kitty's name?
I didn't name her yet. You can pick one.
Okay, your name's Tofu,
He says, patting the cat on the head. Why Tofu? He asks. As they begin talking, the girl looks over a little bit embarrassed.
'Cause she's all white, he says.
Hey, She walks up, her hands behind her as she's a bit embarrassed. Can I pet her? She asks, the light blush on her cheeks. She moves down and picks up the kitty. She brings it up to her face, and while nuzzling it, she goes, "Aww!" Our black-haired protagonist stares in silence. She's smiling. "It's okay, we won't abandon you," she says to the cat. "Are you sure, Suzumura? Don't you have to talk it over with your—" "No, it's fine. It's just the two of us here," she says, holding the cat, staring at him, with Yuta standing behind her with a finger to his lips. "Don't tell anyone, okay, Nanao?" His eyes went wide in surprise. Later that night, as he begins walking home. Natsuru! I think Ritsu's his mother, I think. Oh, where on earth have you been? But his mother, Ritsu, is there with an umbrella. "Where on earth have you been? Don't make me worry like that," she says while walking over to pat him on the head. "Huh? You're totally dry." "Not you, Ritz." Achoo! Hey, I wonder if there's a whole lot of grade school kids living by themselves. What? No, of course not. Yeah, what would they do for Parents' Day at school? That's not really the issue, she says. Is that the only thing you'd worry about if I was gone? She asks. Her eyes closed in a little bit of a frustration. I see, he says, looking out into the distance. All those lights, they only shine if someone is home, he thinks, while looking at the scenery and all the brilliant lights in each of the houses. It's almost summer vacation. And that is the end of chapter 1. How's everyone doing? Are you guys enjoying it so far? Class out early and I'm driving home. Oh, nice! Make sure that you're safe on your way back. This stream gives me a lot of time to think, so I'm just looking at the ceiling. Oh, I hope that you don't end up thinking too much, like overthinking. Oh, Japan, a land where kneading boobs is okay, but holding hands is lewd. I know, right? It's so weird. I'm enjoying it. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. That's very good. That makes me very happy. Let me see here. So we're about to start the second chapter. I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick drink. My brain is automatically thinking we are in a simulation, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. What does that mean? Why a simulation? Are you like imagining it, like the scenery in your head, or? Alright, here we go. Soothing. It helps to stay sane during the last hour of work. Oh, I'm glad. Well, let's see here. So this is probably going to take about another hour and a half to 2 hours. So we'll see how we're doing. Exactly. Oh, I'm glad. All right. Well, then let's continue with chapter 2. It's just the two of us here. Don't tell anyone. Okay, Nanao? It cuts to the memory of her face while she says that. And it cuts to an image of a can with dead flowers in it underneath a rose bush. Or not rose, sorry, a raspberry bush. Chapter 2. I played soccer over summer vacation, too. Make your turns tighter. Once you're done, go do some sprints. It's too soon for you to be tired out now. Says the new coach while yelling at them during practice. You've got technique, but no stamina at all. What month were you born? Huh? March. Ah, yeah, too early in the year. You're pretty small for a 6th grader. An early birthday ends up being a disadvantage in sports, you know. Poor kid, he says. At this moment, something seems to snap in Nanao. Embarrassment flushes his face, while also a little bit of rage. And suddenly, there's a soccer ball in the coach's face. It slowly drops to reveal Nanao kicking Nanao's leg in the air from where he kicked the soccer ball into the coach's face. His teammates standing around, shocked and surprised. Huh. Hey, Nanao, get back here, yells the coach as Nanao sprints away. Now sitting at a bench underneath an overhang, he sits there embarrassed, thinking about before. His friend from earlier, the very first one that called out to him earlier in the first chapter, comes and sits next to him. There he is, the bad boy striker. You're the one spending your money on junk food and in your jersey, he says, while reaching out to take a popsicle from the hand of his friend. Chill out. Here, my treat. Don't worry about it too much. You're good enough to get into the prefectural training center. He sits there with a popsicle in his mouth, depressed and embarrassed. I just hope Coach Okada gets out of the hospital soon. Hey, yo. If you were in La Liga, which team would you want to play for? I would... I gotta take over the apple orchard someday. My folks are telling me to join the judo club next year like my brother. Suddenly, the excitement that was on his face starts to fade. Nanao was originally, when he asked the question, he had jumped up, he had his hands in the air, he was super excited, but the moment that his friend said those words, the light kind of died from his face and his hands lowered. After elementary school, no more soccer for me. But we get to play a tough team from another prefecture at camp next week, his friend said, patting him on the shoulder. And we're counting on you, Ace. Camp, he thought to himself, with the popsicle back in his mouth. That means 3 whole days stuck with that coach? Returning back home, he sees Ritsu sitting cross-legged on her computer chair, books strewn about all over the place, headphones on the floor, and she is once again sobbing. Hey, Nuts. Hi. Still can't write? Hey, let me read you a bit, and tell me what you think. And it's a bunch of word mumbo-jumbo. And when my beautiful haired girl had the long pigtail and ooh, the tearful way she looked, it was a future brother... Only 2-dimensional, and what other world could you just be lying annoying freeloader? No way, she said. Whoa, 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 he says. Plugging his ears, not wanting to listen to any more of her ramblings. Nope, your books are for nerds, Ritsuko, not athletes like me, he says. I can't understand a word of it. She gets behind him and grabs him by the hair and starts, fruffing it? Is that a word? Can I use that? And starts fluffing it up. You don't make fun of light novels. If I didn't write this stuff, you'd be out on the streets. How about I tell everyone you grab your mom's boobs? What? Quit it, you old hag. Hag, wash your mouth, you brat. Cutting into later, right after dinner. Nanao and Ritsu are both sitting on a couch together. Nanao is sitting up with his knees up to his chest, playing a video game on his handheld device, while Ritsu is laid back, with her legs crossed on the couch, drinking a beer. There are dishes on the table in front of them, and a few beers all over the place. Hey, how come my name has summer in it when I was born in March? Well... When you were born, you were very small. I told you how you needed surgery, and we weren't sure you'd make it, right? Uh-huh. Well, the doctor said to us, if he can hold out until summer, he'll be just fine. So your dad named you Natsuru, she says, while looking at a photo of Nanao's. Wait, is it Nanao? I thought that he was Nanao. Maybe he's Natsuru. Maybe I'm just confused. So your dad named you Natsuru for summer and stay. From summer and stay, in the hope that you'd be healthy and stick around till summer, she says, while looking at a photo of Natsu with his dad. And now look at you. Oh, I think his name's Natsuru Nanao, if I remember correctly. It's his first and last name. And now look at you, grown up into a soccer kid. Seems like a dream sometimes, she says with a laugh. Reitz, how about I go stay at Grandpa's house until you finish writing? It's easier to concentrate if you're alone, right? Huh? But it's summer vacation, she says. It's fine. I can have watermelon at Grandpa's. In return, when you finish, we can go to the movies and get Chinese. That's really sweet, she says, putting out her finger into a pinky hold. You don't need to act so mature that quickly, you know, but I appreciate it, she says, as they do a little pinky promise together. And hello, Luke, I'm happy to see you. Welcome, how are you doing? Alright, sorry, but can you go to Grandpa's straight from soccer camp? You know what bus to take, right? Oh, right. About soccer camp. Nuts. I'll give it my all. Okay, he says. Cutting to the future. It's the day where he's supposed to be leaving for his soccer trip at soccer camp. Got your phone? Yeah. Your homework? Yup. I at least put a lot of effort into your lunch, she says, holding out a bag, presumably carrying a box luncheonette. I'm proud of this one. Eat it right on the bus, okay? She says while handing it to him. He has a cap on, and the cap has a dark shadow over his eyes. He seems a little bit sad to be having to go to this soccer camp. Go kick some butt, she yells. You too. His mom lays her head down in frustration and then heads back into the house. He continues walking, dragging the soccer ball behind him. Flowers have begun falling onto the ground. Hi, Natsuru? What are you doing? Everyone's on the bus. We're waiting for you, says his friend. Sitting in a bus full of children, young boys, while they're all waiting to go. He's on his phone and talking with our boy, Natsuru. Huh? What? Why not? What's wrong? Coach, it's Natsuru, the boy replies to the coach. He says he has the flu and he can't come to camp. It then shows Natsuru sitting alone on a park bench with the bunto open and on his lap. He opens it up and sees the food inside that was prepared by his mother. It's not the prettiest food, but you can tell that a lot of hard work and love was put into it. There's some octopus wieners, some egg, tomato, and some rice balls with seaweed on them. The seaweed is put in little shapes so they look like soccer balls. It's really cute. He sits there and looks a little bit sad, maybe a little bit guilty from skipping. The hell am I doing? He says, sitting there, his head down, defeated. And suddenly, a familiar silhouette stands in front of him, tall and blonde. Suzumura. Another special sale, he asks, with her, while looking at a bag that's in her hand. Looks heavy. It's fine. Why are you eating lunch out here? She asks. I was supposed to go to summer camp today, he says, frustratedly stabbing his chopsticks into his rice. But then I didn't want to get on the bus. You hate soccer? She asks. No, I love it. He kicks the ball. I love it, but still. Tofu. Huh? The cat. She's getting bigger. Want to come see? She asks. Returning back to Suzumura's house. This time in the day, he looks around. Her younger brother is sitting in a box that has some drawings on it.
Sis, you brought your boyfriend! Yuta!
They both begin blushing, angry and embarrassed, a little upset, the way that children do when they're accused of having crushes. Wow, Tofu, you're all soft and fluffy. Silken tofu. The cat looks much better now. There's no dirt, there's no grime. It doesn't look scraggly at all. It looks happy and fluffy and very cute. There's something wrong with her back foot, though, she says. She's much healthier, but this foot won't move, she says while sitting down and grasping the cat, showing which foot is having issues to our main protagonist. You're right. Maybe it's broken? I'd like to take her to the vet, but... Whoa! The cat suddenly sprung away, jumped up, and started climbing a tree. Wow. Our black-haired boy suddenly turns his head around. The backyard smells funny, he thinks to himself. A ringtone starts playing, and he pulls out his phone from his backpack. Oh, Mom? He says, grabbing the phone. Answering it in a panic. Yeah, I just got here. Uh-huh, I ate it. Those were meant to be soccer balls, right? It was really good. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna be on Real Madrid someday. Okay, practice is starting. Whew. He takes his hat and wipes his forehead. While ending the phone call, Yuta is excitedly jumping up and down with his arms in the air. Now what? He thinks to himself, looking very depressed. During that time, Suzumura has entered the house and has begun cooking something. What are you making? Tuna burgers. Huh? You can make that yourself? Wow, we're only in 6th grade. My mom only gets the frozen stuff. Uh-huh. Suzumura, are you two really living alone? What do you do for money? Our dad's a fisherman. He's rarely home. Right now, he's crab fishing in Alaska. But he gives us money when he's back, she says. It cuts over to an image of Yuta playing with the cat that's crawling up and down a post that's outside their house. Also, hello, Jessie-chan. I'm happy to see you. How's it going? Welcome. We're reading a descriptive manga together. Oh, what about your mom? She left a long time ago. Don't tell anyone. If people find out, we'll get taken in by child welfare or something, and they won't let us stay in this house. Oh. That scared the shit out of me. Oh my god. Thank you for following Thorn VT. I'm happy to see you. That scared me. And hello, Jaina. How are you? I'm happy to see you. How's it going? Welcome. She left a long time ago. Don't tell anyone. If people find out, we'll get taken in by child welfare or something, and they won't let us stay in this house. Then Dad would be all alone. Besides, the two of us are doing all right, she says, squishing the tuna burger a little bit harder. Alert jump scare, honestly, though. Okay, I won't tell anybody, I swear. You're really amazing, Suzumura, he says. She looks back at him in surprise and embarrassment. So, what are you gonna do now? That was your mom on the phone, right? Yeah, I guess I'll go to the park. If I stay in the drain pipe, I'll be out of the rain. Well, the mosquitoes can still get me. Oh. Well, we were talking, she interrupts him. I accidentally made an extra one. Huh? Oh, sorry. If you want, you can stay here. Room and board, 500 yen per night. Thanks, he says. The three of them sit together while eating.
Thanks for the yummy food, says Yuta.
I'm back from taking a leak. Just came back from work now, enjoying the stream while making a midnight snack. Oh, nice! Well, I hope that work went well for you, and I hope that you're able to relax with a nice, yummy snack. I feel like such a loser, he thinks to himself while eating. Thanks. Oh, wow, this is really good.
I overcooked them a little this time. Usually I make them better.
The TV is playing to the side of them, and all of a sudden, the TV gets a little bit louder.
Oh no! Really?
We can't do this here. The scene cuts. The scene on TV is a man and a woman kissing in public. No, we mustn't. Oh, people are staring. There's little hearts around. Yuta is just happily munching on his food while Nanao and Suzumura stare at, in surprised embarrassment at the screen. And suddenly, Suzumura stops eating out of embarrassment, and Nanao gets a little bit quicker, scarfing down his food. Later that night, our black-haired protagonist ends up taking a bath. Now I'm staying over at a girl's house, he thinks. She's even letting me use the bath. If the rest of the class finds out, I'll die. He touches the wall, and a tile pops out. It's tiled. He grabs the tile and quickly puts it back into the wall.
Hey, Not, do you have any hair yet? Let me see. Whoa!
Yuta abruptly opens the door and joins him into the bath. Not is my name now?
Hey, Not, do you have a girlfriend?
No way, I don't care about girls. They won't even talk to me.
I see. But you know, my sister said that you're really cool before.
Huh? What? Embarrassment enters his face as he suddenly stops shampooing Yuta right in front of him. Later that night, when it comes to bedtime, they share a little, what is it? Kind of like a futon. It's just a little tiny mattress that's on the floor. Our black-haired protagonist and the tall blonde girl are sharing a bed on the floor. I don't have any more clean blankets, so... They're facing opposite of each other, and they both look very embarrassed and very awake. No, it's okay.
Want to sleep in my room, Nat?
Says Yuta, with his head peeking out through a closet. No, I won't fit. She said I'm cool? He thinks to himself, a little bit curious.
It's hot. I can't sleep. Nat, tell me a scary story.
'Cause you're in that stuffy closet, he thinks to himself. A scary story? Okay, this is the best one I know. And now, I heard this story from my mom. Cutting later into the night. And then, she turned around and said, "Now I found you." Hey. He looks over. Yuta is now in the covers between the two. Very, very terrified. It's shaking. Are you... Sis, red alert! I'm gonna break my streak and wet the bed! Don't you dare! It's cramped in here thanks to you, and now we're going to sleep. The clock keeps ticking in the dark room. Nanao? Do you believe in ghosts? She asks. Tap, tap, tap on the window. The three of them all sit up and look outside. What was that? Someone's tapping on the window? Scratch, scratch, scratch. Rattle, rattle, rattle. Huh? The three of them sit up even higher, fear on each of their faces. What is that noise? No, I'm scared, she says, grabbing his shoulders, hiding behind him. I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, don't come in. Nanao, help, she says. standing in a triumphant pose. Okay, he says. He slowly walks over to the door and slides it open. To see a cicada, or to see a beetle on its back, skittering across the floor. It's a stag beetle. Sheesh, it really scared us, said Yuta. It must have flown at the window. Ooh, let me hold it, he says, running outside. Here, Suzumura, look at... He suddenly stops as he sees she's backed into the corner with tears streaming down her face from fear. Also, hello, Jay. I'm happy to see you. How's it going? Welcome. Just came back from school. Had to leave early because I got into a fight. Oh no, I'm sorry. I hope that things are okay. If you need a vent about it, we're happy to listen to you. But if you want to keep it to yourself, we understand too. But I hope that you're okay. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told that scary story. And suddenly he gets interrupted as she suddenly stands up, runs up, and hugs him. Tears streaming down her face while she cries next to him. He slowly takes his arms and puts them around her. Whoa. I didn't know the real reason that she was crying, he thinks. They're now both sitting on the floor with his arms around her as Yuta stares at the both of them. I was just carried away by the feeling of her in my arms, trembling and warm. Now, chapter 3. That was the end of chapter 2. Is everyone still doing okay? Are you guys still enjoying it so far? Should I be more descriptive, less descriptive? Is it a little bit confusing at all? Let me know how it's going. I think Luke is horny, yeah? After a long download, I can now play one of my favorite games, Skullgirls. Ooh! I've heard really good things about Skullgirls. Looking at pictures of Tengen so I can stop thinking about simulation bullcrap. Yeah? I'm sure pictures of Tengen will definitely help. He is quite dazzling. No problem? Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Alright. Let's continue. We're almost halfway through the story. And this is where the story will start taking a bit of a turn, so I hope you guys are ready. Chapter 3. What's its name gonna be? Asks our black-haired protagonist. Benz, says Yuta. Why Benz? 'Cause he's all black. Shouldn't it be Beetle? Benz, go on and eat your eggplant, says Yuta happily. The beetle is now trapped in a little bug cage. It has a little bit of food, and it's on top of some dirt. And it looks happy, I think, for a beetle. Sis, I don't think he likes eggplants, says Yuta, as the beetle has not touched it. Is there any watermelon? We can't afford that. We'll be alright if we spend just 1,000 yen per day, she thinks to herself, while looking at a list of different items for her to buy. Soap, batteries, milk, different things like that. The three of them begin walking. Sis, wait, says Yuta. Today I have to go to the store without touching the ground, he says, while putting both of his feet on top of a, like a guard railing. You're being weird again. Come on, we gotta finish shopping before it gets too hot, she says while tugging him. No, I can't make it. If I touch the ground, I'll die, he says, eyes filled with tears, twitching. Then what if we go like this? Says our black-haired protagonist, picking him up, his arms linked underneath Yuta's, pulling him up into the air. Yeah! The three of them begin smiling and giggling together while walking to the store. I want to read the new Jump. Can we stop at the bookstore?
Sure.
Stopping at the bookstore, they all begin looking at books. She sees one, Easy Recipes That He'll Love. She picks it up and starts going through it. All done! He appears behind her. She hides the book quickly behind her back. Later at the store, eggs, bean sprouts, and what else? Bread? He asks, while carrying a bag of different items. It seems that the bouquets have caught our blonde-haired, our tall blonde female protagonist. She's staring at the bouquets.
390 yen.
You want them?
No, it's not something we need.
Let's go, she says, while walking away from them. On the way home, the three of them stop by a playground. Be home by lunch, okay? She says to the two boys, as they have decided to play together. Okay. He waves her goodbye. Not, teach me some soccer. Somehow, she thinks to herself while walking, it feels like we're really living together. I wonder what Nanao likes to eat. I'll have to ask him, she thinks. Returning back from playing at the park, Nanao and Yuta have returned. We're back. We're home! Sis, lunch please! You're all sweaty. Go and change your clothes and feed Tofu, she says, brushing him off from a brief hug that he gives her. Nanao, the laundry's done. Would you hang up your stuff? Sure. Sure, he says. She thinks to herself, blushing, as she walks forward and places a tray of food down. But before she does, she pauses. There's a mug filled with flowers on the table. Not pick them, says Yuta. As Nanao takes his clothes down from the drying rack, she stares and blushes. It's the face of a young girl in love. It's really cute. Later that night, they're all doing different things at the table. Nanao is writing, our blonde-haired girl is painting, and the young brother is drawing with crayons. She lifts up a small picture of the mug with the flowers in it. Yuta picks up a picture with a drawing of the beetle on it, while the cat starts attacking him. They all start giggling together, and it shows just their daily life together. They fall asleep and a new day starts. Our secret summer vacation. It's time to get up now, she says, ripping the blanket off from him. Hurry up, I have to clean. We've got a busy day. What? Says a confused and just now awoken Nanao. Not, you're gonna make paper things with me, says Yuta, holding up one of those, what is it? It's one of those chains made of paper where they're like little circles that link up together. He's holding one of those. Our dad's coming home today, she says, extremely excited and happy. Huh? Then I should go home. He'll get mad. No, it's okay. Stay here. I'll introduce you. Introduce me? He thinks to himself, embarrassed. There's a festival today, says Yuta. Huh? Really? Dad always takes us. You've never been, Nat? They close all the roads and the cars, to the cars, and everyone in town dances. Wow, he says. Well, they're slowly putting up streamers, and that's it. They're slowly putting up streamers and decorations all over the house for their dad. They have streamers that say "Welcome Home, Dad" that they're hanging up, and on the table there's more art supplies. I won't stay up with tape. Do you have any thumbtacks? Sis, we need They're in the drawer in Grandpa's room. Okay. Grandpa? He asks. Suddenly, she pauses, and a dark shadow goes over her face. Sorry, I meant Dad's room. Huh? A confused Nanao ends up dropping the conversation. Looking over at what she created, she'd put together a cute bowl full of like different foods together. Oh, wow! Chirashi sushi! Sis, you are awesome, says Yuta. Dad will bring some crab to put on it, and it'll be perfect, she says. The three of them surround the table, the decorations all set up, and the bowl in front of them. And the clock ticks. And they wait. And it ticks some more. And they keep waiting. He's not home, says Yuta. How long has your dad been away? Asks Nanao. Since May, she says. 3 whole months? But he said he'd be back in time for the festival. Looking outside, some fireworks have begun exploding into the air. Oh, it's already started. She stands up, moves over to the phone, and starts pressing some buttons. She makes a phone call. Your call cannot be completed at this time. The party you are trying to reach may be outside the service area. She puts the phone down. Dad said he's going abroad, so his phone won't work, says Yuta. He may still be in Alaska trying to catch crabs. Suzumura? Says Nanao, he exclaims, as she opens the door and runs outside. What? Not you. But I'm Suzumura too, says Yuta, lying on the floor with the cat. Hey, can we just eat the sushi? He runs over into a room where she's sitting on a chair, knees folded up to her face. Rio? She looks up. What was that? Huh? Your name's Rio, isn't it? Yeah, so? Rio, I'll go to the festival with you, he says, while fireworks are still going off outside. We moved just this year, so I haven't been before, and I don't have a dad either. She sits there, not saying anything. What a dumb thing to say, he thinks. She slowly gets up and steps out and slowly goes upstairs. I guess that's a no. Hey, can we eat? Says Yuta, lying on the floor, getting more and more impatient. Dunno. 2 feet enter the frame. Panning up, it reveals Rio standing there, in a yukata, which is typically known for being worn at festivals. Natsuru, will you, put this in my hair? She asks, handing him, like a ponytail or a hair clip that has a flower on it. He goes behind her and starts putting it up, starts putting her hair up with it. I can't do it right. She says approvingly, while looking at the mirror. I want to wear one too, says Yuta. Your yukata got eaten by moths. What? Going to the festival, it's a huge array of people dancing. There's lights, there's fireworks, mostly dancing, a lot of dancing. Wow, so many people, yells Yuta, moving around in the crowd. I want one, he says, pointing to a stand that's selling food. Is this Frank? Frankfurters? I'm assuming that might be some type of, like, wiener. Oh, no. He begins peeling off the skin of it and eating it. Sis, look, I ate all the skin. You're being weird again, she says. Thanks for getting him one, Natsuru, she says, while looking at Nanao. Here, these are for us. He breaks apart a couple of popsicles and hands her one. Nice and cold. The dancers will have to take a break until the downpour passes. Sorry, folks. Rain starts settling in, and everyone begins to disperse. Oh, wait, here, give me 1 second. Okay.
Eep!
Suddenly she gets bumped from behind. Yeah, she suddenly gets bumped from behind while there's a frenzy going around from the rain. Come on, he says, reaching out a hand and grabbing her. They start strolling around. The 3 girls from earlier, the princess one and her 2 friends, are suddenly walking together. They all have very fancy yukatas and dresses and are walking around with fancy parasols.
We've got umbrellas. Looks like we come out on top, says the Hime. And Mama did my yukata for me. It's Sumori Chisato, she says.
Princess, look, says one of the friends, pointing to Nanao and Rio holding hands running in the rain.
Why? Why is Suzumura with Nanao? She says angrily.
Lightning flashes. There's thunder in the air. And it cuts over to them in the field, walking around together. Bon bon the festival, only this day and the morrow. And the day after shall bring the drooping bride. I don't know how this goes, but she's singing. She's singing while they're walking in the rain, all 3 of them, in a field of flowers. The peony that blossoms soon drops its petals, only for this day the flowers of kindness bloom. Rio, are you okay? Your yukata's getting soaked.
Scared of a little thunder, Natsuru?
That's not it.
You know, when you're all grown up, if you stand outside getting soaked while watching a storm, people will think something's wrong with you.
I guess that's true.
It is true. So let's get soaked while we still can, she says, smiling.
Rah! Grah! Sis, Nat, watch this, says Yuta, raising his arms into the sky and yelling. I'm gonna eat all the rain!
Natsuru, thank you.
Standing there, holding their hands together in the rain, he thinks to himself, I fell in love with Ryo Suzumura. Cutting to a future day with the sunlight. Yuta is sleeping. He's napping on the floor with the cat. Wait, what's going on? Huh? What happened to Luke? Did he get banned? I don't think so. I'll take a look into it after stream. I don't think he should have gotten banned. That's weird. Maybe, is there a mod here? I don't know. Maybe he got timed out? That's weird. I didn't do anything. That's weird. I'll look at it after stream and see what happened. Achoo! I keep forgetting their names. If I pause too long, it's because I'm trying to remember their names. Achoo! Nanao sneezes while switching out his shirt from the soaking one to a brand new one. He looks into the bug cage. The beetle is upside down. It's died. It never ate the cucumber. Aww. He walks over to the bushes and begins digging to bury it. Wild strawberries? Or raspberries? There's so many. Is that what the funny smell is? He thinks to himself. Sort of sweet, but sort of rotten. He begins digging. I wonder if we can eat them. What you doing, Nat? Says Yuta, rubbing his eyes while he walks over. Ben's died, so I buried him. Huh? He already seemed pretty weak when we found him. It was just his time. Aw, where'd you bury Benz? I want to see him again. I have to say bye. Huh? That's weird. He's gone. Oh, that's weird. He's gone. I buried him right here, he thought to himself, trying to dig up the spot where he believed the beetle was. Maybe he already went to heaven, says Yuta. No way. I didn't bury him that deep, though. Kshunk. Huh? What's this? Kshunk. Repeatedly putting his little hand scooper into the dirt. This music is so unfitting. I hope that's okay. Moving his scooper deeper into the ground, he starts uncovering something. Clothes? Reaching down and pulling up the clothes. Says Yuta. An arm and hand, completely of bone, fall out of the clothing. Maggots fall along with it, and the can holding the flowers also dropped. A sudden fear fell onto his face. Wah! He screams. What's wrong? Rio runs out, asking, panicked. Seeing what he sees, there's fear and sadness plastered on her face. As he stands there, staring at a human skull and a human arm and hand, all made of bone, halfway sticking out of the ground. A corpse buried beneath the raspberries, just stuck there in the ground without ever going to heaven. A summer vacation that I couldn't tell anyone about. And that's the end of chapter 3. So things are ramping up quite a bit. How's it going so far? I hope he's all right. Yeah, we do, and I will definitely figure out what's going on after the stream. I'm not sure what happened, but we'll definitely make sure that he's able to come back. Like it so far? That's good. Oh, I'm glad. We're just over halfway now. We have 2 chapters left. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. I'm gonna take another sip here. This is a very disturbing story. Sorry, don't mind me. A little ASMR here. Hello, the Born Loser. I'm happy to see you. Welcome. How's it going? We're 3 chapters in, so it might be a little bit confusing, but you can probably pick some things up from context clues. But I'm happy to see you. How are you? Kind of fell asleep at some point. Oh, that's okay. Honestly, the fact that people can fall asleep to my streams is like one of the highest honors for me. Because I have some designated streams or like YouTubers that are like my sleep playlists. So it's a great honor knowing that I could also provide that for someone. Sorry for the ASMR. Go back and 2 times it? Sounds good. I gotta go though. Wasn't able to get my teach, unfortunately. Enjoy the stream though. Okay, no worries. Thank you for stopping in, Ghost. I hope that things go well with your teacher and your thesis. Good luck. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night or whatever time it is for you, and hopefully we'll see you next time. You have a hectic yet soothing voice. Oh, thank you. I mean, you got a very nice voice to the ears, and it kind of put me to sleep. Oh, that's very sweet. Well, thank you very much. That makes me very happy to hear. Alright, well, let's go ahead and start chapter 4. Let me see here. This one's a shorter chapter, so it won't take us too long. So I'll be focusing on the chapter, and then I'll check back in a little bit. If I had a sleep playlist, you would be on it 9 out of 10 times. Although you gotta be careful with that. There was one YouTuber who I really, really thoroughly enjoyed. His name's Chris Tenarium, and he used to play a bunch of like visual novels. I think he mostly just streams now over on Twitch, and I thought that he just like disappeared forever because I couldn't find him for years. And then I looked in his channel description and it had his Twitch. I'm like, oh god damn it, I could have listened this whole time. But I used to watch him play a bunch of visual novels, and he ended up being the one, like the main one, where if I can't sleep, I will go watch his videos because they help put me to sleep. But because of that, I kind of trained my brain into only falling asleep for his videos. So like it would be the middle of the day and I'd be totally fine, full of energy, and the moment one of his videos came on, 5 minutes later I was just out asleep. So be careful. And then one would be too many raptors? Wait, what? What is that? Alright, here we go. Chapter 4. Also, I'm gonna switch the playlist to a different song. This is way too, like, upbeat and happy. There we go. Is the volume still okay for the music? He's my second favorite YouTuber? Oh, interesting. I'll have to check him out. Alright. It matches you, but not the story? Wait, what does? Volume's good? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Alright. We open this chapter with a scene of Ryo and Yuta sitting at a table eating with what is presumably her father and her grandfather. Her father looks kind of like an adult playboy, if I had to say so. He's got a little bit of scruff on his chin. His hair parts at the center, with bangs on both sides, and on the top it's blonde, and on the bottom it's black. He definitely looks kind of like a playboy. The grandfather just looks extremely old. His hair is thinning and balding, and he looks thin, and kind of at the end of his lifespan. Yep, you gotta have crab and fried rice, he says, chewing. Dad, that's imitation crab, she says. You know we can't afford the real thing. Oh, he says, eating it, taking another bite. They're all sitting there in silence, looking around, eating together. Alright, I'm off to Alaska to get you kids some crab, he says, standing up, smacking his butt. There you go. There's some sound effects for you. Bam! Huh? What? Alaska? Is that a supermarket? Asks Yuta. It's up high on the map. Dad, what are you talking about? We don't need crab. Dad! Says Ryo frantically as she grabs him by the back of his shirt. He looks down at her, eyes empty and hollow. Ryo. Hey, you can take care of things again for a bit, right? He asks, putting his hands together in an unapologetic pose. Grandpa's here, you'll be fine, right? I'm the one doing everything around the house, whether you're here or not, she says bitterly. Great, Ryo, you can do anything, he says, hugging her close and giving her a bunch of smooches on the cheek. I just know I can depend on you. You smell like booze, she says, pushing him away. Hey, Yuta, you want to have some crab too, right? He says, putting up his fingers in a peace sign. Yuta mimics him in excitement. Crab! When will you be back? She asks. He stands up and moves to the window, staring out it, with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I'm so glad you're here, Ryo. I'll take you to the festival again, he says, putting a hand on her head. When we woke up the next day, Dad was gone. Okay, I'll come home as soon as I can. Don't go to the playground by yourself, she says, hugging Yuta. And make sure Grandpa doesn't fall when he goes to the bathroom. Uh-huh. Ryo, dear, says the grandpa. You're such a good girl. Let Grandpa give you a little pin money. Just wait a moment. That's okay, Grandpa. The stairs are too dangerous. I'm fine. See you later, she says, exiting the door. Both Yuta and the grandfather stare at her.
Grandpa, you want to go upstairs? Asks Yuta. Hup 1, hup 2, says Yuta, pushing the grandpa by his back up the stairs. The grandpa huffs as he breathes as he moves upstairs. Walking back home with 2 bags of groceries, Rio opens the front door. I'm home. She stops and stares in shock as Yuta is sitting on the floor, eyebrows up, sad, as if he's about to cry. The grandpa is laying on the ground next to him, not moving. A $10 bill, or a 1,000 yen bill in his hand. Sis, Grandpa won't get up. Grandpa? She runs over and sits down next to him, shaking him vigorously. Grandpa? Grandpa! Nothing. There's no movement. He's not breathing. She runs over and grabs the cell phone, the house phone. Dad? Dad? She quickly presses the numbers and starts calling. We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed at this time. The party you are trying to reach may be outside the service area, or... Later that night, Yuta is sitting with his knees pressed up against him, his arms wrapped around them, and she's sitting there, head down, defeated. The grandpa is laying on the floor, still unmoving from the original position, with a blanket put over him. Days pass. Yuta is sitting on the floor, eating a snack, while Rio still continuously calls the father. We're sorry, your call cannot be completed. Hello, Mr. Suzumura? Mr. Suzumura, we've got a neighborhood notice. She sits there, and she grabs her chest, her heart racing, and she starts breathing heavier, until the shadow slowly disappears from the doorway. She gets up. Yuta gets up from the floor and walks over and opens the doorway to the entrance where the grandfather lays. Sis? Grandpa smells funny. You can do anything, Rio. I just know I can depend on you. I'm so glad you're here, Rio. She thinks and remembers the words of her father. She remembers his stupid apologetic grin while his hands are placed together. Standing up, she slowly moves over and grabs her grandfather by the legs. She starts moving him, tears streaming down her face. Rio dragged her dead grandfather's body outside and buried him there in the backyard, all by herself. No. No. Cutting back to the future. Nanao was standing there, horrified, staring at the dead body. You can't just bury him here like this. It's not right. I know, but do you know how to do a funeral, Natsuru? She asks. Her eyes look tired. She looks sad. Not really, but why didn't you call an ambulance or... He was already dead. Well, what about the police? I was afraid it'd turn into a big scandal if I did. They're always talking about that stuff on TV, right? Some deadbeat parent abandons their kids, it gets all over the news. And with this happening when Dad's gone, wouldn't everyone talk about us that way too? I couldn't stand it. Tears streaming down her face. Even if he's a jerk, he's still my dad. I don't want people who don't know anything to talk about us like that, she says, wiping away her tears. So I have to do the right thing. I have to protect everyone. Please, Natsuru. We'll have a proper funeral when my dad gets back, and then everything will be okay. So please, don't tell anyone, she says, covering her face, sobbing. Shock, sadness, fear, all of those things are on his face while he stares at her. Yuta is standing there, eyes empty,
holding the cat in silence. And he turns around, and Nanao runs away. He runs and he runs, leaving the two there to stand in silence. Huh? It's Natsuru! He runs so far that he ends up outside of an arcade, seeing his friends from soccer there. I thought you'd be at summer camp, in your jersey and everything. The festival was today. I would have invited you. See you at school, they say, while waving away, and heading out. The world was so far away. Hello, Nanao residence. Ritsu is sitting there. She answers the phone. Hello? This is Sakai, the new soccer coach. I'm just calling to ask where I should send the refund for the camp dues. Huh? She asks. The door opens, and Natsuru is standing there. Natsuru! Where on earth have you been all this time? She runs up, grabbing his shoulders. Is it true you didn't go to camp? Sadness and fear fill his eyes as he furrows his brows. Don't tell anyone, he remembers Ryo saying while crying. He looks down, bitter and hurt and sad. And he runs away into his room. Natsuru, wait a minute! She begins banging on his bedroom door. You open this door! He's locked himself in and is laying on his bed, covering his whole body up with a blanket. If I tell anyone, will Ryo get arrested? But if I keep quiet, does that make me an accomplice? Ryo buried him with her skinny arms all by herself. Cutting forward to the future. Natsuru is standing right outside of the front door, with Ritsu talking to him. You didn't forget anything. You've got lots of stuff on your first day back. Yeah. See you later, she says. As he walks away, she gives a slightly concerned look to him, worried about him. Summer vacation was over. Hey, it's been a while. You're all tan. Aw, crap. Let me copy your homework. The yells of children in his classroom as he starts slowly setting his bag down and emptying it. He looks up and sees Ryo sitting at her desk. Her hair is longer now, but it's still scruffy. She's looking with her head down at a sheet of paper. Please have your sketch assignments out on your desk. I'll come around and collect them to put up, says the teacher. Princess, your hair is so pretty, says one of her, the friends standing next to Hime. Mama curls it for me every morning, she says, with her hair wrapped around her finger. Even if I even talk about cutting it short, Daddy gets mad. He says it's much prettier long. Oh my gosh, says one of the other friends. Suzumura must be cutting her own hair. Is it me or is it dirtier? Looking at her, it's very obvious that her hair is layered in ways that it should not be. It's choppy and all over the place, and while being short, it's definitely not the way that a normal haircut should be. Nanao stands there frustrated, looking at the girls. Her dad still hasn't come home, he thinks to himself. Princess looks at him and sees that he's thinking about Ryo. She walks over to her. Suzumura, are you alright? Your hair is all messy. Would you like to borrow my brush? And your clothes. Your mother won't buy you new ones? If you need help, talk to me, okay? It's not your fault that your parents don't take care of you. I think it's just awful when kids have to suffer. It's almost like you've been abandoned. A loud slap sounds through the room. Nanao was standing next to her desk, with his hand raised, and she is lying on the floor. Hime is lying on the floor. Everyone stands around, shocked and horrified that he slapped her that fucking far. Oh my god. You don't know anything about it, so shut the hell up! He gasps as he sees that her nose is bleeding, as she slowly pulls herself off the ground. Natsu hit a girl! Oh no, your nose is bleeding, her friends yell while running to her side. Take her to the nurse's office, yells another student. Rio sits there, still head down, looking at her paper, as tears fall out of her eyes and land on her drawing. I'm so sorry. Ritsu's mom is standing there, apologizing to Hime's mother. She has her hand on her son's head and is making them both bow in apology. With the teacher standing there, Hime is facing the opposite way, not looking at them, while Hime's mother looks very angry with her hands crossed. Or with her arms crossed. Alright, you two, says the teacher. What a way to start the semester. Can't believe I was called in. It's like a soap opera, says Ritsu as they're walking home together. Natsuru, she says, grabbing his shoulder. You won't get away with staying quiet forever. Something's been wrong with you since summer vacation. What happened? What happened? It's never okay to hit a girl, no matter what the reason. You know that. She says, while turning him around to look at him. No matter the reason? But even if you know it's wrong, what if that's the only thing you can do? What then? What was I supposed to do? What else could I? He said. Freeing himself from Ritsu's grip, he runs away. Natsuru! He runs and runs and runs past the bridge, past a crosswalk, and right outside of the hospital. He stops and stares at it. Final chapter. How's everyone doing? We are down to the last chapter. How's everyone feeling? I'm gonna take a quick drink. Everyone asleep? Oh, hi, Summer. Feeling good? Good, good. Are you still enjoying it? Nice, that was good. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much. That is, oh my god. Taking a little aside. Being a kid in like 6th grade, when you're like 11 and having to go through this shit, is fucking scarring. Oh my god, from both perspectives. Both as Ryo Suzumura and as Nanao, Natsu something. That's really horrible. And god, even like Yuta has it the worst. Oh my god, he's so young. I'm invested in this story. Oh, that's good. That's very good. I'm glad. Feeling good. This is good. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you, Nikkei. This is a little horrifying as a treat. Where were the parents? Oh yeah, Alaska. Well, her mother passed away, and the dad left to go fishing for crabs in Alaska. And then, Natsu only has his mom now. The dad passed away. Hi and bye. Homework is killing me, so I must stay on the grind. I appreciate it, but I don't think my day will be all that great. Oh, I'm sorry, Penguin Ojo. Well, thank you for stopping in and saying hi, and good luck with your homework. I hope that it gets better for you. Hopefully we'll be able to see you next time. Good luck. Did you trigger the heart eye by mistake? Wait, has it been on? No, there's no heart eye. No, we're good. It'd be like that. Alright, back I go. Creep a little closer. Creep a little closer. Creep a little closer. Oh, sorry, I meant to like get my face in there. Creep a little closer. A little closer. Fucking god, every single time. Alright, whatever. I didn't mean to. This makes me really happy, does it? Oh, I'm glad. Are we gonna kiss, Uwu? No. My lips are sealed. They implode in on themselves, so I cannot kiss anybody. Sorry. Alright, well, with that being said, let's go ahead and start the final chapter. We cut into the hospital as Nanao was standing over a sleeping old man. For those, like, I was gonna say for those who don't know, but like, obviously you don't know because I haven't described him. This is the old man sleeping there is the original coach, the one that had cancer from the beginning. He stands there looking at him and takes a seat on a stool. Coach Okada. In pajamas, he just looks like someone's grandpa, he thinks. And suddenly, Coach Okada awakens. He looks over, puts on his glasses. What? Natsuru? Hi! You came all this way just to see me. Sorry I had to quit so suddenly, he says, a gentle smile on his face. You must have been worried. How are you doing, Coach? Oh, I'm alright. I had surgery and I'm fine now. How is everyone? The team practicing hard? Yeah. Coach? Are there soccer players who were born in March? Oh, there must be plenty. Why do you ask? I heard being born in March is a disadvantage. Why on earth? Astrology? You know, Natsuru, people who really believe in themselves can be anything they want. It's the truth. At these words, Natsuru's eyes sparkle. Natsuru, let's play soccer again sometime, he says, holding out a hand and fist-bumping Natsuru. Natsuru sees there's a coaching soccer book on the table, and he looks up and smiles with hope in his eyes. Sweetheart, what do I do? Says Ritsu, staring at a photo of Natsuru and his father. Natsuru's acting so strange. What do I do? She asks, tears in her eyes. I just can't figure this out on my own, darling. Rio is walking home, carrying 2 bags full of groceries. She walks across the train tracks and remembers Nanao. Can I help carry anything? She stands there, face down, until she looks up. And she's shocked by what she sees. Her father is walking with a woman. The woman is dressed in high heels. She has an extremely short pair of shorts on with a little bit of cheek hanging out. She has a fashionable belt and an expensive-looking bag. No way, she says. Rio drops one of the bags. And her father and the woman both look at her. Where's the crab? How is Alaska? The father looks at her in shock. Huh? Do you know that kid? Asks the woman. Nope. Come on. Let's go. He says, grabbing the woman as they start walking away. Her eyes, Rio's eyes, are dead inside. Both the bags of groceries are on the ground, with items spilling out of them. She opens her mouth. And he looks at her, and raises a hand and smiles apologetically. A dark shadow crosses her face as she watches the two of them walk away. Cutting to summer, the spot where the grandfather was buried has now been recovered in dirt. The sink is completely full of dirty dishes. There's a soccer ball by the open door. Sis, says Yuta, I'm hungry, he says, shaking her. There are clothes and dishes everywhere. The whole place is extremely messy. He looks sad at her lack of response. Is Nat gonna come play with me? He asks, sitting down, staring at the soccer ball. No, he won't. Not Dad or Natsuru. They're never coming again, she says, laying down, defeated. In the trash can is the torn ribbon that says Welcome Home, Dad, from earlier. Yuta sits there, sad, and he throws the soccer ball at her. It bounces back to him. His eyes fill with tears. Yuta begins crying and sobbing, sitting on the floor, with his eyes to his with his hands to his eyes. And suddenly, a foot comes into view. Rio! Nanao is standing there, looking at her. Her eyes filled with tears streaming down her face. Nanao... sorry, not Nanao. Rio, let's run away together, he says. Hand in hand, the three of them, now with much better clothes on, are fully dressed and running away together, outside. No, Tofu, stay in there, says Yuta, the three of them sitting on a train, as he's pushing Tofu into a bag to try to hide him. I took all my savings, and we left town on the first train. We didn't buy a ticket for you! Rio stares outside of the window. Wow, the view. All I can see are mountains. I should have buried him somewhere like that, she says, looking sad. Natsuru stares at her. I wonder what's out there in those mountains. Maybe there are animals nobody's ever seen that get to live their whole lives in the quiet without ever meeting anyone. We didn't know where we were going, but nobody asked. Clothespin, notebook. Kaboom! Yells Yuta. Hush, she says. I don't want to play word. Oh, oops! This was all Yuta. My bad. I don't want to play word chain anymore. He says. Let's do riddles. Riddles, okay. Says Nanao. They shine brighter in the dark, but even you can't see. But even when you can't see them, they're still there. What are they? Do you guys know what this is? Does anyone have any answers for the riddle? Anyone have any guesses? They shine brighter in the dark, but even when you can't see them, they're still there. Oh! You got it. You got it, Chandler. That was quick. The train brings them over to the seaside. They all get out and start running over to the sea. Oh, sis, look! The ocean! Yells Yuta. Sparkles in their eyes as they're excitedly looking and gazing out at the sea. What's that? Asks Yuta. A jungle gym? They're tetrapods, says Nanao. He's referring to these large... 1, 2, 3, 4... They're four-sided. They almost look like jacks, if that makes sense. They're these large concrete jacks that are in the ocean, and they're there to help break up the waves so that they don't get too big. I saw them when I was in Japan. They're very nice. They're really cool looking, but they're just like towered up in the water, and they look really cool. I definitely recommend looking up a picture of them. They're called tetrapods. Tetrapops, he yells. Tetrapods, Nanao corrects him. Pepra tops. Petra tots. Totra po. He giggles at Yuta's antics. When I grow up, I'm gonna swim across the sea. Daddy said when I grow up, I can do anything. What are you gonna do when you grow up, Nat? What, me? I'll just be a normal soccer player, I guess, he says, with his hand to his chin and a little star. Normal? Rio thinks to herself. Hey, the next Summer Olympics are gonna be in Rio. The Rio Olympics, he says. A big blush shows up on Rio's face as he says this. I wonder if I can make it in time, he thinks.
The Japan Olympic team? That's normal?
She thinks to herself. Natsu and Rio sit together on the edge of a concrete. What do you want to be, Rio? I just want to be a normal bride, she says, blushing. He looks at her, eyes wide, with a blush on his face. Whose?
Huh?
Yuta told me that you said I'm cool.
Uh-huh. That was, she says, while getting extremely flustered, her face getting all bright red. Back when they had the bike safety classes, you were the only one who had a cool helmet. That's all. But you had an old lady bike.
Aw, you just meant my helmet. Natsu droops his head down in defeat.
No. You are cool, she says, looking away. Whenever we play soccer in gym class, nobody can keep up with you because you're so fast. When you run, I can hear the wind, and it's like the whole field sways. Natsuru, when you grow up, you might be taller than me, she says, looking at him.
She gently jumps down and stands behind him.
Like this, maybe,
she says while looking up at him. He's about 6 inches taller than her at this point, while he sits there and stares at her. She was so cute that it hurt.
Yuta's swimming!
Yuta has now made his way into the ocean and has begun swimming. Cutting to a little bit later in the day. Nanao has Yuta on his back. Yuta has fallen asleep and he's giving him a piggyback ride.
Is he too heavy? Wanna switch?
I'm fine. I've never been this far away from home without Mom before, he thinks to himself. A truck passes by. Silently, as if they're thinking the same thing, Rio and Natsu look at each other. He turns around to face her, and she wraps her arms around his neck in a tight but soft hug. They look out at the boats and the fish, and they come up to a fishing lodge. Excuse me, this is an inn, right? Can we stay tonight? Asks Nanao.
Yes, but,
says the old lady, standing in front of the inn, gardening flowers.
It's jellyfish season. You can't go swimming, okay?
She says, seeing that Yuta is covered in water.
Are you kids here by yourselves? Summer vacation's over, isn't it? Where are your folks?
They stand there staring at her, not knowing what to say.
Mom, it's all right. Oh, a little cat, too.
A woman comes out. She seems like a friendly woman. She has short bangs and long hair at the front. Her hair is tied up at a ponytail. She's got cute little freckles on her face, and she has a baby strapped to her back.
Oh, a little cat, too. So cute, she smiles. We've got a room with an ocean view, and I can scrape something together for dinner.
Entering the room, they all take off their shoes. They place Yuta asleep on the floor and stare out the window. Suddenly, Rio stands up, walks over, and sits down in the closet.
Uh-huh?
Natsu's confused exclamation happens when she slams the door shut and she shuts herself in. She peeks the door open. Come here, she gestures over. What? He asks, crawling into the closet with her.
Natsuru.
They sit together, with the closet door shut beside them.
You know what my name means. A reason to live. That's how you write it.
As she's speaking, it cuts to an image of the old woman standing outside of the inn. A police officer is standing with her, and she's speaking to the officer.
To me, you were always like a blue sky I could only see from a distance. Thank you, Natsuru.
I never dreamed that you'd become part of our family, she says. She takes her hands, places them on the sides of his face, and pulls him in for a light kiss. She moves back, and at those words, part of our family, Natsuru's eyes tear up. He pulls back and gives her another kiss, and they're both of their eyes start filling with tears, and they cry, hugging each other in the closet. And Natsuru's mother, Ritsu, runs out of the police car, having been told of the location of her kid. The young woman with the baby from the inn, and Yuta, Ryo, and Natsu all stand there. That night, my mom arrived in a police car to get us. Ooh, the real thing? Asks Yuta, getting into the car. Can we ride in it? Before entering, Ryo looks at them. She looks at Natsu and Ritsu, and they enter the car and leave. This one's for you, ma'am, says a gentleman, beckoning to another car. Hang on. I'm sorry you couldn't stay, says the woman with the baby. But eat this, she says, while handing them 2 box lunches. Oh, thank you, says Ritsu. The woman waves to them, with the old lady standing next to her, as the car drives away, through a tunnel. Natsuru, were you protecting her all this time? Ritsu asks. I need to know the name of the song. It's called This Is For You by Luke Rembo. Here, I have it up here right now. Let me go ahead and I'll put it up real quick. There you go. Luke Rembo has really nice music. I like it a lot. There you are. Were you protecting her all this time? She asked, looking at him. Being unable to hold back the tears, he begins bawling. Ritsu gently puts him into a light embrace as he begins crying through the car. Ritz, when Dad was sick in the hospital, he told me, if you're a good boy and listen to your mother, the gods will see, and I'll get better. So wait for me and be good, okay? But he died, so I must not have been good enough. Sometimes, even the gods lie to us. Why? It's because, says Ritsu, remembering the image of her husband smiling. They love you very much, she says, tears also streaming down her face. The gods lie. They lie because it's the best they can do. Ritz, I wasn't all that sad when Dad died. Maybe because I was so little. So I'm okay now. I know, she says, closing her eyes in a gentle smile and placing her head against his. We reach out for their lies, and we keep on living. Remembering the words of Ryo's father that were also lies, and thinking back about the soccer coach who may never get better. The next day, after Ryo told the police what had happened, they searched the garden and found her grandfather's remains. Ryo's father wasn't a fisherman. He never went to Alaska. He'd been staying with a nightclub hostess in the very same town, according to the tabloids and the gossip shows on TV. I'm gonna very lightly turn the volume down. There we go. According to the tabloids and the gossip shows on TV, apparently he was just sick of living at home. Ironically, while Ryo had only been trying to keep the world's prying eyes away from her father, all the attention landed on her, the 6th grade girl who buried her grandfather by herself. If it was the mother who'd abandoned them, they'd be tearing her apart, said Ritz. That was what Ritsuko had to say. Rumors about Ryo spread through the school. I punched a few more kids. Ritsuko kept getting called into the school to apologize, but she never scolded me for it. Now my reputation at school has hit rock bottom. But I don't care. I grew. 8 whole centimeters. One day in winter, I went to where Rio's house used to be. It was a vacant lot. I felt a little bit relieved. Seeing that empty house fall into despair had been heart-rendering. But Rio must have been sad about it. I haven't seen either Rio or Yuta since that day. I heard the two of them are living in a facility in another town. Tofu was adopted thanks to the efforts of animal rescue volunteers. They'll have to remove her paralyzed foot. A cat with one missing foot. But she learned to run with 3 feet. There's nothing sad about that. Go. Go! It shows an image of a much older Nanao running with a soccer uniform as celebration confetti is flowing in the wind. Suddenly, Rio opens her eyes. She was crying in her sleep. How's it fit? You probably grew again since you were fitted, didn't you? Asks Ritsu. I guess it'll work for a while, says Natsu, trying on a new high school uniform. Or middle school uniform. Middle school uniforms are kind of heavy, he thinks. When you start middle school, you'll join the soccer club instead. Oh my god, do you guys hear that? People's dogs are so loud. Can you shut the fuck up? We're trying to have a nice cozy time here. When you start middle school, you'll join the soccer club instead. So tomorrow's the last game with your team, huh? Coach Okada's going to come cheer you on. I'm so glad, she says, while making some food. Yeah. The phone begins ringing. Natsuru, it's for you, she says, holding out the phone. It's Rio. Hello? He asks, taking the phone. Natsuru? We see the back of Rio. Her hair is now long. It's past her shoulders. You sound different. Sorry, my voice changed. Why are you apologizing? Natsuru, I dreamed that you were a soccer star. I have this feeling. It'll really come true, she said. His tears streamed down his face. He remembers the image of the 3 of them together with the cat. Him, Yuta, Tofu, and Rio, smiling happily together. Natsuru, we'll see each other again. And that is the end of The God's Lie by Kaori Ozaki. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed. What did you guys think? It's definitely I really like single manga stories. I'm trying to go through as many as I can before having to go through. I have a very large collection of manga, and I wanted to put it to good use, which is why we're doing these, and also because I don't know if there are good access to manga readings for visually impaired. I haven't been able to find much for it, so I thought that it was a good way to do both. But I have only a few of single manga series, and most of the ones that I have, I absolutely love. I really like the stories behind them. So this one and She and Her Cat are some of my favorites. I think that the stories are well told. They're a little bit sad, but very, very human. And I think that they're just really good, well-told stories. So I hope that I did them a little bit of justice, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. That was really good, well done. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm glad. That was great. Thank you. It was good, even if I did fall asleep earlier. Thanks. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get some rest. Sorry, I thought it's clapping. No, that's okay. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you guys. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoyed the story and that I was able to do it some justice. But yeah, so I guess that will go ahead and end it soon. Do you perhaps have an interest in light novels? I haven't yet. Most of the light novels I see are all like isekais, which is my least favorite genre, I think ever. It's isekai series. I'm not a huge fan of those. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I can take a look into seeing if I can find more. I just know the only thing I know about light novels, because I haven't read any, is that they're very most of them that I see are isekais, and they all have like really long titles, like, oh, my dad suddenly turned into a magical girl and now I'm forced to cross-dress. That's like what they sound like. That's like a typical light novel title. That's really all that I know about light novels, but I'd definitely be interested in them. In that case, I may have something for you. Really? Ooh. There's only 2 isekai I'll watch, Konosuba and that one time I got reincarnated as a slime. Oh, really? 1000 chapter isekai are a barrier. Yeah, that's fair. I do have, I accidentally got the novel versions of a few different manga. I also have the novel for Howl's Moving Castle, like the novel that the Ghibli movie was based off of. Maybe I'll try to read that sometime. That one is, I've been told that it's very different from the movie, but that it's really, really good. So I'm definitely interested in maybe reading that one too. May happen to be a writer? Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. What kind of genres do you write? Yeah, Howl's Moving Castle. It's so good. I love that movie. And apparently the book is like very different from the movie, so I'd definitely be interested in it. Also, I'm gonna take a quick sip. Oh, well. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and end things here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So far only one light novel, a very dark one. Ooh, I do like dark things. I do enjoy me some dark things. I decided to read Overgeared. Nice, but 3 million words. It's triple Harry Potter. Oh my god, that's too many. Oh my god, that's way too many words. Now I know manhwa is 17 years behind. Oh man. Dude, I used to read a lot of manhwa too. Not as much as manga, but like the ones that have like the really old art style, I used to read a lot of those too. I really liked, shoot, what is it called? Oh, I really liked the, like, I don't know if it was manhwa. I think it was just a manga, but it made me think of it. The Boys Over Flowers. I cannot, the K-drama for it is so dumb. I couldn't watch all of it. I stopped partway through because it was just so stupid. But the manga and the old anime for it are both really enjoyable. I highly recommend those. They're very good. I'm glad I could catch you in this time. Yeah, I'm glad too. If you're a part of our Discord server, which the link is in the description, if you're part of our Discord server, feel free to shoot me a message with your light novel writings or like how to obtain it, and I'd be totally happy to check it out. But yeah. So thank you guys so much. It's going to be so much fun hearing Spilf's distress noises. I am not looking forward to it at all. It's going to be like a 5-hour stream because I'm so bad with exercise. It's on the internet for free. Oh, nice. Oh, definitely. I definitely want to read it. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope that you all have a lovely rest of your day or night or whatever time it is for you. And hopefully I will see you all next time. Bye guys. See you.